Rays, they are a team with no name, right? They're kind of the nomads right now in Major League Baseball as they wander around from city to city before they're going to eventually land in Las Vegas. Another year here in Sacramento. What do we make of this version of the Athletics?
Yes, the Sacramento Athletics of Las Vegas, round 2 here. They're in Northern California. That stadium, by the way, if you haven't taken a look there in the desert, boy, oh boy, it's going to be a nice little spot in Las Vegas come 2028. Okay, where we handicap Vegas, or at least the Athletics, is that overs. Hey, when you want to play over the total, we were hot on that early in April. The sportsbooks took a little while to be able to react to it, but they will not be caught by surprise with what this offense did, not only through the body of work, but particularly towards the end of last year, Dave. Top 5 in average, top 8 in OPS, 7th in home runs. And yes, when that weather starts to turn much warmer in the summer months there in Sacramento, the ball flies. And this lineup is going to be one to be reckoned with. Nick Kurtz, obviously the headliner, the American League Rookie of the Year. Remember, Jacob Wilson led that category for most of the first half of the season, even into the early part of the second half, and then Kurtz caught fire in the power department, 30-plus homers en route to one of the great single seasons for the Athletics in team history. Oh, by the way, just behind him, Shea Langeliers, who had a great individual career year. Tyler Soderstrom signs an extension this offseason. Brent Rooker, who was a guy that not only was an all-star, but might have been overall their best offensive player in most respects last year. Jacob Wilson back at shortstop. They get your old friend Jeff McNeil in a trade with the New York Mets to shore up the middle infield. Lawrence Butler, who is one of their young stars who had already signed an extension, will be in right. The other Max Muncy will play third, and Denzel Clark, their speedster, rounds out the starting 9 in center field. I think where we handicap the Athletics this year, Dave, this is a young offensive core that is going to not only be here to stay for many years, but I think is going to strike a lot of fear into opposing pitching staffs. Make no mistake about it, they can hang with anyone. I think athletically, they've got a nice balance, not only with where they are from a slug, but if they improve at all whatsoever on the base paths, that's another element to deal with. They didn't really run a whole ton last year, but that might be an area where Mark Kotze and company try and add that added element to be able to win some games here throughout 2026. It boils down to the pitching. And a lot of this starting staff, you'll have some of the usual suspects in Luis Severino, Jeffrey Springs, our old friend from Cleveland and Chicago last year, Aaron Savali, signed a free agent deal in February. Let me focus you on young left-hander Jacob Lopez and young righty Luis Morales. Probably the future of this rotation. At least Lopez has a chance to be a front of the line starting element, if not a number one starter. Had a great individual campaign and a great finish to his 2026. They will need continuity and some length from that group early in the season. Back into the bullpen is probably going to fly way under the radar. But Hogan Harris, their left-hander, who is probably going to get the first shot at closing opportunities this year. I would look at Mark Leiter Jr., who came over from the New York Yankees bullpen. They've got some guys to piece this thing together, but that is my focal point for them early, Dave. They've got plenty of swing and miss capability, but they have also had a lot of command issues. There's been a lot of traffic, and they've got to be able to nip that in the bud because I think they'll get plenty of offensive help. If you can find a way to get length in the rotation early and be able to get some semblance of continuity from the leverage arms in the back of the bullpen, this is a team that could put together some series victories early. And so that win total is definitely one that I would be leaning over 75.5 right now with the way that they're coming back and the offensive pieces they'll have from day one.
And again, we do not know. I knew, obviously, once you put out the betting guide here with Adam Burke that we'll get to for the MLB betting guide, which, by the way, you can still have access to if you're a VSiN Pro subscriber. I made these bets in Hot Stove months ago here when the win totals first populated. And this is one of the first ones I'm wagered. And I love it when your assessment matches mine. It makes me feel better about that bet when I played that over 75.5. Now, I looked at it and I said, boy, this team won 76 games a year ago. They're better, Jensen, Now, again, whether or not the rest of the AL West is going to be better, that can also affect some of these win totals. But they are better, clearly, to me, on paper this year than they were last year. I guess my apprehension would be, if I have one, is with the lockout looming, whatever you want to call it, strike, lockout, however, baseball Armageddon we want to phrase it, after this year, and with their pending move to Las Vegas, from a business perspective, I did take a stab at a better price point. It's down to 380 now, but I played them 4-1 to make the postseason. Would they invest finances if they feel like they're close by the trade deadline to maybe get another arm, as most contending teams try to do, whether it's in the bullpen or a starting pitcher? Would they be apprehensive to do that with the labor strife on the way? Or do you think that they'd say, no, let's go ahead and make a move here, even though we're not going to our new home in Las Vegas here for a little bit?
No, they're in full momentum forward mode right now, and I believe too. Remember, they had a couple of guys debut last year. Let me remind you about righty Gunnar Hoglund. Made his major league debut last year. Will definitely be a rotation fixture for years to come. The big one is the acquisition of Leo Vries, in number 3 overall prospect, has looked absolutely sensational. You are talking about a transcendent face of the franchise guy that you got from the Padres and will be your shortstop, whether it's Jacob Wilson slotting to second or what have you. That's a guy that is going to be a difference maker and a franchise changer for years to come. Also, Jamie Arnold, who was the ace for Florida State, the Seminoles last year, he was their 11th overall selection. He could make a quick jump through the minor leagues in the next couple of years. I would also think about just where the overall perception of this athletics team is now, David. And as I wrote in our betting guide, now that the secret is out offensively, how will the lineup adjust to the league's tweaked approach? Will the pitching staff be able to lock down opposing attacks and the bullpen convert the leads into wins? The A's are no longer a series where opponents take 3 to 4 days off. They better be ready for a motivated group looking to back their 2025 campaign with an even better season in 2026. And to cap it off, my bold take for the Athletics, Nick Kurtz finishes top 3 for the AL Most Valuable Player Award. I think right now you can get him somewhere north in the double digits in that award market. As I bring it up here on DraftKings, Kurtz is 15-1, trailing only Julio Rodriguez, Vladdy Jr., Cal Raleigh, Bobby Witt Jr., and Aaron Judge. That's the market perception of where the A's are right now.
Very quickly, are they in play potentially at 13-1 to win the West if the Astros are taking a step back? I know Seattle looks loaded for bear there. I think Texas might be better than people think. Is that in play at 13-1?
Can't invest there because of the depth of Seattle's rotation, and even more so, let's give the Rangers their due as well. I think they still have a year or so to go, but the cavalry is coming. If you're an Athletics fan and you currently live in Las Vegas, get ready. 2028 is going to be one of those places you want to be.